Miami, Dade County, let's ride.
What's going on, guys? It's Josh Albo, and in today's video I'm going to be answering a question for at Brian BRYAN.STOTT. I think I put Scott on the board. That's supposed to be a T. Brian Stott, and he asks, what books have contributed the most to your success? So on the board I have my main ones. Brian, if you see this video, which I'm making it for you, so you better fucking see it, all in love. When you see this video, if you need more books after this, by all means, go for it. Tell me, I'll make another video for them. But for now, I think this will put you on a very strong, solid path to where you want to go. So what books have contributed the most to your success? The main types of books that I read are mindset books, persuasion, selling type books, and then finance and money, which is I think is completely separate than actually the persuasion or the selling side is completely different from money and finance itself, because persuasion can be used in all aspects of life, whereas money can too, but it's completely different. So I put the two completely separate. And then lastly, humility. I would definitely put mindset on the top of your book reading list. Don't worry about these three can all come in time, but if your head's not in the right place, it's not gonna be as successful as I think it could. I think mindset's the most important one, because if your head's not in the right place, like I said, you're not gonna be able to get exactly what you want to accomplish. So first thing I'll start off with is either Think or Grow Rich or The Millionaire Mind. Think and Grow Rich is by Napoleon Hill. It talks about the 12 pillars of wealth, how the positive mental attitude, which again, mindset is the number one thing on the list for being wealthy. There's a difference between being rich with money and being wealthy with love, happiness, having riches as well, the ability to have applied faith. There's 12 pillars. I don't know them all by heart. I know a good majority of them, but I don't feel like thinking of them on the spot. So read the book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Great starter book. And then also The Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker from a financial success standpoint. Once you have the general mindset after you read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, this book will give you more of a team mindset. So if you have a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever, getting you guys on the same page so that you can build together. And actually, this kind of relates to the money one, which is Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. Kind of relates there, but once you're on this millionaire mind and you start thinking of ways to make $1 million. First, you got to make $1 million, then you can net $1 million. You can't net $1 million if you don't even make $1 million in the first place. And you need to know what numbers it takes to make $1 million. So how many things do you have to sell for $100 to make $1 million, or whatever you make on a certain thing? Like if you're only making $20, or how many hours you need to work, which don't turn your time for money, but that's a completely different tangent. So knowing how to get to that point, having your mindset made to make you the types of numbers that you want to do and be successful financially, and then go from there. Next on the list, more about persuasion, would be How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, all-time fucking classic. All-time favorite book. I listen to this audiobook, I don't read it very often, but I listen to the audiobook once a month. It's about 8.5 hours long, I want to say, so I'll put it on for a day. But amazing book. There's a doctor who writes persuasion books. It's 22 Laws of Persuasion. Geraldini or something. I want to say something like that. If you look up Geraldini on YouTube, I think it's close to that. On YouTube or Google, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. His shit is amazing. Getting people to say yes, because it's subconsciously, after they say yes twice, they're more likely to say yes a third time when you're selling or trying to persuade them, or just the little things that are completely unconscious to most people that no one gets. But if you can not manipulate that, but use that to your advantage when you have in a selling aspect, or if you're trying to get your way, it's amazing shit. Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, I already talked about. This book's, I have it right here actually. So like I said, I have it right here. Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game, and I have his newest book, Unshakable. I heard this one is amazing as well as this one, but I haven't finished reading this one yet. So once I read this one, I'll read this one. It's 664 pages for Money Master the Game, but the tips that you're going to find in it, I've only read maybe 200 pages of it, and I've already learned things, whether it's about 401ks, Roth IRAs, all that shit, the Susie Orman, let's call it, type shit. And then also just general things about mutual funds, index funds, more so the investing side for the future. So once you have that income coming in you don't know what to do about and you want to start thinking about it. At minimum, it's good to start thinking about those things even before you have the money that you want to be making coming in, just so you know you're prepared and you're preparing yourself and you're always learning. So there's a good one. All of the Robert Greene books, 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction, are fucking phenomenal. Like, just leave it at that. They're great. Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is about humility. So the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, actually, my ex still has. I gave it to her when she went on vacation, never got it back, but it's okay. You know, I have more power. I'm all about giving. It's about this New York lawyer who has a red Ferrari, just so happens, and basically the doctor tells him he's like dying, and if he doesn't change his lifestyle, like champagne and steak, ironically, like soon that like he's gonna die in like 2 weeks or whatever. So sells his car, moves to like India out of nowhere. Held back my cursing there. Moves to India out of nowhere and like does like meditation, like studies like not Buddhism, but like their entire culture in India, with some monks or whatever. And he becomes a monk, and then he comes back and like he teaches other people to do it. And it made me really think about like what's my goal long term. Like if I make all the money in the world, right? What's my goal? What's the point? What do I want to do with that after the fact? Like, so I'm not just working my entire life and not getting any of the benefits out of it. So I like work ethic is a great benefit out of working hard and working my ass off. But what do I want? What's the long term of that? So that's another good one. 22 Laws of Branding and 22 Laws of Marketing. I don't know the authors of these, but they're very good. They've helped just from a branding standpoint with my social media stuff and a marketing standpoint with the different companies I've helped with. Very good stuff. You gotta read it yourself though to find more out. But there's good like points that you wouldn't think about when people like when everybody's starting a business nowadays. And more power to you, the guys that are watching this video and they say like, why does Josh go like this every time he says entrepreneurship and starts a business? I love entrepreneurship. I love like the whole concept, but I wish more people were more serious about it. Not to not have fun, but just like actually working their asses off and making shit happen instead of just putting CEO on their Instagram bio. But moving on, no rants. The Laws of Branding and Laws of Marketing are both great books, just about the little tips. Good to Great is more of a management book. Same with the 5-Minute Manager. They're both little management books about there's things that for good to great. There's things that you can do that'll make you have a good company, and then like going that extra mile will make you great. Good book, would recommend it obviously. And then 5-Minute Manager is about delegation, kind of, in the words of Rita Davenport, CEO of Arbonne, CEO or president, one of the two. Anything you can delegate is not your priority. So I'll give her a little quick plug there. And I fully believe this, which is why I don't believe in working hard, but completely different story. Then on this side, Ego's the Enemy is about humility. I just finished that. Very interesting book, made me think a lot about things. I didn't think it was the end all be all, obviously, and I have a big ego, but I work on it as much as I can because ego's not the end all be all either. But good book, good like think book. Compound Effect and Slight Edge. I have Slight Edge right here. I want to say it's by Jeff Olson. Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. But it talks about like doing the little things every single day and how they grow over time. And then I would read Compound Effect or Slight Edge first, and then Compound Effect after that, so you'll get an idea of first do everything on a daily basis that matters, and then Compound Effect will show you like how that adds up over time. Eighth Wonder of the World, Compounding Interest. Everybody's like from Warren Buffett to whoever said that. Little Red Book of Selling and Stop Selling and Start Listening are just 2 sales books I've read. If you look up the title on Google, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. And then my last points before we end up the video is SoundCloud, Audible, YouTube, audiobooks, and then what about podcasts? I read a lot. I probably read, at the beginning of the year, I was reading 2 books a week, like just normal books. And then I slowed down a lot with Summit. I was working more so with Summit and focusing highly on that, which slacked off on Dip Labs, slacked off on the nonprofit, but getting a better balance of things now. But I cut back my reading a lot, so I've been doing a lot more reading now. But the other side is whenever I'm in the car, whether it's CDs or plugging it in, depending on what car I'm in, listening to audiobooks in the car, very helpful. Saves time, seeing that this is simple shit. You just got to actually do it. So follow through. You asked me this question because I'm assuming you wanted to do better in your life. So actually follow through with the answers I'm giving you. If you like them, if you don't believe a word I say, as always. And then audiobooks, I had Audible for a little while. I wasn't a fan of it. I know you can change the speed, but I did the trial to like see how I liked it, and it only allowed me to download one book, and it wouldn't let me like adjust the speed how I wanted it. So I haven't experienced it maybe to the fullest. I've been recommended it by people who I think are pretty successful, but I wasn't the biggest fan. Try it out if you like it. By all means, more power to you. And then YouTube, podcast. Gary Vee, I think a lot of it's just selling, but he seems to be very excited about like the future of sound. So I don't know. I've been thinking about that, possibly making a SoundCloud, because all I'm doing for these videos is standing in front of a board and pointing at things. You could get the same visual just by using your mind. So maybe I should just move to, if they did like not a YouTube for music or sound, because that is SoundCloud, but I don't know, something to think about. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If this gave you value, leave a comment, leave a smiley face. I don't really give a shit about it, but at least I'll know that you watched it. Liking it will, if this helped you and you think it'll help other people, if you like it, it puts me higher in the YouTube algorithm, so that more people will see it, more people will be helped, so then you can do your part. If you want to know when my new videos come out, you can always subscribe, and then you'll know every single time. Until next time, guys.